And definitely an opportunity for some of those lower seeds in this first round with not too many tubes on offer. It doesn't look like there's going to be in the first couple of heats at least, to really get a quick start over some big names. John Florence has a tough round one clash up against Davey Cathels, who's coming off the back of a quarterfinal finish over in Rio. And Alejo Muniz, he is looking to make a huge return.
They're obviously very experienced competitors. They know how to put together a couple of scores in 30 minutes, so this is a lot more even than it looks on paper.
Well, here goes the Narrabeen local, who spends a bit of time over here in Fiji. And a couple of solid turns to get started, driving off the bottom into this inside bowl. Hangs onto that turn on the exit. 35-minute heat, surfers after 2 excellent scores. And Brazil's Alejo Muniz up now. As he grabs the rail and he tucks in, that one's going to pinch. No exit. Had a solid off-season, obviously, and has been putting up pretty decent numbers all year.
Davey Cathels, I know you might have some good insight on him, Ronnie, being that lives not too far from you, but I think for him, right-hand point breaks, he's kind of reminds me of a Danny Wills. He's got that really nice style, same kind of pedigree in terms of being very comfortable on a right-hand point break. I think the real hindrance here for every single competitor that's going to hit the lineup in the next couple hours, it's got morning sickness. There's a little bit of wonk on it, so it'll be tough to get a score.
Well, a decent-looking wall here for the Hawaiian, Florence. Just setting up the inside. Surfing with so much flow at the moment, easily drives around the foam to get that critical turn in. 28 minutes to go. It's a good indicator to someone's form, just how clean their board looks through the water, cuts through the water when they get themselves on a wave. Even though I'm not expecting a huge score, John looked nice on that ride. Yeah,
he looked like he was very fixated on keeping flow, and I think it's to the advantage for John on a left-hander. You know, on the rights, he's so kind of lured into finishing the wave with a big old air reverse. He's not going to really have that luxury here on a left-hander, so he's going to keep his rails engaged, and that'll equate into steady surfing, steady scores. Ultra competitive. He'll be competitive till he's 70. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to surf in the Pipe Masters till he's 65.
Bring it on. Here we go, John Florence up once again. Had a 4.5 on his last ride, now chasing just a 1.61 to get into the lead. He's already done that. As he kicks out.
A lot of focus on the Gold Coast that we all kind of thought was hindering him. He looked tack sharp yesterday, so it'd be pretty cool to see him out here and get redemption on that board. As we see John, I love this second snap, second or third, right there, just kind of kicked on that back foot, little karate kick. A lot of force there. Right now, Davey Cathels has the best score at the 5.67. That might be right there in that neighborhood. And, you know, again, Bede is a very witty competitor, but I think he is so elated just to be sitting in the water now. It's got to feel good.
Well, here we go. This is Alejo. Now, he needs a huge number to get into the lead, but he'll just be happy to get a solid score on the board. And a solid first turn, and he's backed it up with an even better backhand blast. Really throwing his board vertically at the lip and whipping it back down. And it's often the case, Ross, when we get out there in the morning. You see a lot of sections like this on this ride of Alejo's that are just a little crumbly.
A little chunky. It reminds me of home here where I live in Hawaii. It takes a good couple hours for the ocean to settle down. There's that big committed move. The only thing that didn't help Alejo too much is that wave. That was kind of the only great section for him. The good news is he took advantage of it. You know, again, stabbing it right there on his backhand. And so he'll be in the mix. He had a very slow start, but you only need 2 waves, Ronnie. He's still got 13 minutes to go.
Well, the numbers are dropping now. 4.5 for Muniz, and he now needs a 5.83 to get himself into the lead. Just over 13.5 minutes to go. J-Bay's going to be interesting. As we see Davey Cathels, this was during the break, a replay of that ride.
Davey Cathels started pretty good, Ron, with the 5.67. It looks pretty challenging out there because we're seeing nothing but mediocre scores. You know, so we mentioned the wonk, the little bit of bumps and wobbles on the ocean, and that long period swell is not meant to really start to fill in until around midday. So it's going to slowly drip in here.
11 minutes remaining. Last week was owned by the women. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but let's check out Alejo's last wave on the replay.
Alejo, just the 4.5 for the wave prior, so the judges didn't really hang their hat too much on that one whip. They want to see flow, they want to see you connect a handful of moves, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was the best surfing I've ever seen on the women's tour from them. It really was. Carissa was next level, Bianca, Courtney, they all lit it up.
They did. And Bethany Hamilton too on fire. This is Davey Cathels. This wave's going to shut down. So he'll still be looking for a 4.67. Involved is the Wadigi Island, and just an epic opportunity for someone. And we'll see that property in just a moment as we see Alejo chasing down. A 5.83 on this wave. This wall is starting to stand up. But Alejo keeps that down the line flow. He wants a steeper section to really dig into. Has to convert this into some huge turns on the inside to get a big number. That wave's going to shut down. John Florence also picking off a ride in this set. Just catches a bit of a rail there. Recovers well, but loses it trying to throw the fins into reverse. And Davey Cathels now with an opportunity. There's a solid hit. Almost getting caught behind. It throws off his timing a little and he goes down. A lost opportunity there, 5.5 minutes. We'll see replays.
It's chunky, it's sectioning. So if you have those waves that peel and roll down the reef with a nice predictable tempo, then yes, the backhanders are going to light it up. But right now, it goes from slow to fast. So it's hard to match your speed. Easily the best out of the three waves here is from Alejo Muniz. And again, he was way up the point. John had priority. And so Alejo will be pretty stoked because he got it under John's priority, and it had the best tempo. A little bit of an awkward snap there, but he makes up for it here, throwing some buckets out the back as the wave closed out on the inside reef. And there's that speed. See the adjustment there, Ron, where it went from nice and slow to all of a sudden it raced across shish kebabs. We didn't see the first couple of snaps from John. Let's see if he puts together the wave that he wants. And you can see he dug just a little bit of the rail, so he's trying to get extra points by going a little more risky on that last maneuver, and that's the disadvantage of being on your backhand. It's hard to really mix it up. It's just not conducive for that type of move. It's more of a down the line kind of surfing that you need here with these fast walls.
Well, just over 4 minutes to go. John Florence still hanging on to the lead. Alejo, he got a 4.83 on his last wave. He needs a 5.51 to jump up into first. Davey Cathels now in third position, still looking for a 4.67.
With this new partnership with Airbnb, Ronnie, I could see this happening around the globe. It should be pretty cool.
It's going to be fun. Here we go, John Florence now, looking to increase his lead over his rivals here. This wave is just a little wonky, and John not really able to put it together on that ride. So, just again, to request your booking for that property, worldsurfleague.com/swell dwellings. It could be yours for $10 as John Florence tucks into the barrel, finds a sneaky exit, and adds a little more on the end. He's trying to get rid of a 4.5. I'm not sure if he's going to do it with that rod.
You can see the urgency from John. He looks like, a couple minutes left. He really wants to get rid of that 4.5. He's fully aware that the door is wide open for both the other fellows out the back. So kind of a grindy heat here. The waves look really trippy. This is not ideal cloud break. So it should get better as we go, as we see John trying to get that flow up. Just caught another little inside edge. So he lost speed. He didn't like it. So he got out there. Almost got lucky here, picking another wave right on the inside. Tucked in for just a short barrel. Had to come out of the side door, and then a little whip. So I agree with you. I can't really see that going any higher than a 4.5.
Alejo is still looking for a 5.51. Davey Cathels is chasing that 4.67. Here's Alejo, building speed. A smaller ride, so he really needs to unleash some solid turns. Driving off the bottom, bashes it through the lip. Still needs more. Has to be one of the better rides in this heat. He gets bogged down on some lumps on the inside there. 45 seconds remaining. 5.51, Ross.
Not feeling it. The wave was too small.
And all eyes on Davey Cathels. He needs a 4.67.
There's a bump right there. Where is Davey?
Oh, there he is.
Palling against the current, Ron. Ooh, that clock ran out.
The heat has come to a close with John Florence maintaining his position at the top end of the order. Heat score total of 10.33. Not huge numbers, but I don't think John will mind.